Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press, and I thank you for being here again for yet another Monday of pre-cabinet press briefing. Today, our first presenter is Honorable Philip J. Pierre, the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, the Youth Economy. He's also the Minister for Justice and National Security. And today, press briefing will take a slightly different tune, as the Prime Minister will speak to an open mic where you get to ask him whatever you want. But a few housekeeping rules, I remind you to be respectful. And with that, I welcome the Prime Minister.
I'm all yours. That's been a brave man, eh? Huh?
You have the advantage, Pierre.
Yeah?
You have the advantage.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. In the past few days, we have heard stories about the police's insurance. The president of the PWA has stated that some of the claims about the invoices and so on are not true. What do you say to this?
The last word I heard from the Parliament Secretary, you see, the minister does not get involved in administrative matters. There seems to be a belief that the minister, especially when he's the Prime Minister, gets involved in the nitty-gritty of these things. That's not a fact. Last thing I heard from the Parliament Secretary was all insurance invoices have been paid. All. And talking about the police, I want to say to you that the government has ordered 1,300 special belts for the police. The police were complaining for a long time that they were very uncomfortable with the belts that they were using. And the government ordered 1,300 belts. Hopefully each police will get a new belt, which will make it more comfortable for them, which will make their work easier. So that is in addition to the bulletproof vests. Now we have the new belts for them. And again, they've been asking for these belts for years, and I'm very pleased to tell you we've ordered them. But again, we do not control the supply or the manufacturing of these items. So the last word I got from the Minister, the Permanent Secretary, was that the belts were under construction, not construction, but they were being built. And the last thing was the buckle was being put on them, so they should be here anytime for them. So I'm very happy that the police will be much more comfortable in fact the belts, so they can carry their stuff, and instead of what they had before was very uncomfortable for them. So again, we've seen about the welfare of our police, and we've given them something that they've been asking for a long time.
Good morning, PM. Yesterday at your launching, you spoke about the increased investment on the youth economy. Could you go into detail?
Yes.
On that a little?
Sure. Well, the youth economy has been a very successful venture, and if I can say it for the young people, there are scores of young people, over 1,000, who have benefited from the youth economy. We started with grants where young people wanted to go in a business or wanted to start a business. Once they followed the criteria, they got a grant of $5,000. That came with training. There have also been a lot of training opportunities for young people. The last one was training so that they could begin training in e-commerce, where they got training in e-commerce. Also training in marketing. Quite a bit of training, and I want to thank the Prime Minister government for doing that. So what the government will do in this next term is we're going to double the money available to the youth economy for grants. We're going to double it. And then also there's a loan component which has been funded by the Caribbean Development Bank, and it's been administered by the Lucia Development Bank. So we'll speak to the CDB to see what can happen there. The loan component has been a little slower than the grant component. the grant component has been much faster. So we're going to see if we can double it, double the amount available, and after discussions with the board, we'll see whether we can increase the amount. Because you know the youth economy, and what makes the youth economy agency so successful is run by an independent board, very independent board, and it's when the people on the board take decisions based on what's in front of them, and that has been a hallmark of my government. If I can say that, this is a fact. I mean, the youth economy agency, the chairman of the youth economy agency, nobody can accuse him of being any partisan person. He's a man who's worked in business. He has his own business, and he chairs it. And you know, sometimes when I listen to accusations from the other side, it worries me, because it looks like things that they used to do, they think that automatically you do it too. They don't understand that St. Lucia is in a new era. There's a new government. We have new policies. We do not personalize it as things are. The Youth Economy Agency works on a purely rational, purely meritocracy, purely on the what form of business they want to go to, and it works very well. And I'm very pleased with them. There have been some issues with the speed in which the grants is disbursed. There's some issues, but what has happened in that there are many people. There's been an over demand from young people, and it's heartening but concerning that we have not been able to go as quickly as we want to, because of the funds. That's why I want to double the funds this year. Scores of young people have applied, and they say, listen to me, I went to the youth economy, I haven't got in yet, but it's a matter of the volume has been so great. And then it's only last week some colleagues came from Grenada to see what we're doing here. Came from Grenada, and colleagues are coming from other countries of the OECS to see what we're doing in St. Lucia for youth economy. It's a success story, and then this government there's never been anything like that before. I hear some rumblings about the youth economy was at the St. Lucia Development Bank. I mean, this is a little short of being ignorant, but that's for another show. You know, so that it's been a unique agency, unique. It has its own legislation. It has, you know, so we want to expand it, and in the next budget, we're going to double the resources available to the youth.
Okay. My other question to you is: the UWP claims that the SLP destroyed the banana industry. That's what they're saying.
I mean, this is an old story. You know, I've been in politics for quite a while. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been in opposition and I've been in government. I started in opposition, and I got into government. Lost once, won in my constituency, never lost again, and I don't intend to either. And then, but was in opposition for some time. It fascinates me what passes for politics in St. Lucia these days. It really fascinates me. I mean, it fascinates me. The things that I hear, the illogical things, the personal attacks, the aggrandizement of self, as if we're in politics to boost ourselves, what I have done, it really is sad to see what passes for politics in St. Lucia. My politics is about serving people, for improving the quality of life, not for about me, not what my life was before, if I was a success or not. Let people judge my success. I don't have to come and say I was successful if I was in politics. People have to judge that. Do you leave that for people to judge? In politics, you're supposed in politics to serve people. You're supposed in politics to make sacrifice to serve people. So the idea that the politics have reached a stage of personalities and personal attacks and going into people's private lives and trying to tie it. I'll tell you something. I respect St. Lucians. I respect them. I will never and that word never has become a very common word these days. Get involved in any activity that disrespects the intelligence of St. Lucians, even though it's my base. Even though it's my base. You know, you can go somewhere and talk to your base and say whatever you want. All parties have bases. So you go in a room and you just bash people. That's your base. They accept it. All political parties have bases. They accept whatever you tell them. But I've told my colleagues in the Labour Party, let's not disrespect our base. Let's respect our base, because they are the ones who kept us in power or helped us to stay in power. Don't disrespect them. So the idea you go and you disrespect your base, say whatever you want to them because and they cheer you. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Some of the things I hear on the political platforms in St. Lucia are ridiculous. And I really hope that we can raise the bar. Let's talk about ideas. Why are we going into this? Why are we just going into people's personal lives? We go into all kind of innuendo, talking about ourselves, how great we are, what we were before. What
Okay, Prime Minister, on the issue of campaign, I could see the campaign is really heating up right now. We have just seen the emergence of Mr. Stanley Felix put his hands in the ring. What's your thoughts on Stanley Felix coming in the ring?
The last time I read the Constitution of St. Lucia, it was a democracy. So that is.
But the Labour Party is not sending anyone to contest because Bishop Frederick is not a member of the
The
Central
Labour Party has been clear that in Castries Central and Castries North, the candidates are Stevenson King, better known as the Blue Wave, and Richard Fredericks as an independent. The Labour Party is not, as a party, contesting these two seats.
And the supporter of Stanley Felix, was he a member of your
I
party?
told you,
And is he still a member of the Central Labour Party?
the last time I read the Constitution, we were in a democracy. And anyone can run elections once you have $250.
Is Stanley Felix still a member of the Central Labour Party?
As far as I know, the last time, I don't know whether he's paid his fees recently, but the last time I know, he was still a member of the Labour Party.
And with all this said and done too, a lot of people seem to believe that the National Labour Party is waiting to call election on the promise of St. Jude's. What's your thoughts on this?
I told you yesterday, elections will be on a Monday. I told you, and I still hold elections will be on a Monday. But St. Jude's is doing well, going very well, very well. You know, last time I heard, I know most of the soft furniture was here. The equipment, you know, again, there are supply chain issues, and I understand that most of the medical equipment has been shipped. And if you notice, but I can tell you that the physical infrastructure of St. Jude, ready for commissioning, will happen before the end of the year. I can tell you that clearly, that the physical infrastructure at St. Jude will be ready before the end of this year for the hospital to be commissioned. Will be ready.
So does that mean people will be at the hospital?
Again, I said that the physical infrastructure. Let's talk about being ready to go to the hospital. And you know, conveniently, we have very short memories. And it fascinates me in St. Lucia that people who were in government pretend as if they were never in government before. They behave like newbies. They came from nowhere. They just landed. It's really something that amuses me when I take some time to hear what I hear. These people behave as if they came from above. I mean, the late Vernon John used to call them marmons or something. So when in Parliament, he had thing about marmons. You know, Vernon John is a man who's good with words. I probably may have pronounced it wrongly. He's as if they came from nowhere. You understand? You remember OKE Hospital? Remember that, right? What happened to OKE Hospital? When the government changed in 2016, OKE Hospital was ready. When did it get commissioned? 2020 during COVID. But suddenly you have people who are behaving as if St. Jude, once you finish it, people must be there. Doesn't happen. You have to commission it. You have to get the physical infrastructure can be ready. But the commission also takes time, as happened in OKU. But again, these people, in their desperation, pretend as if they've forgotten. They've forgotten. Remember OKU? We had a commissioning team led by Dr. Stephen King. That was set up in 2016, 2015. To set it up. 2016, 2017, 2018. In 2017, they were fired. Then 2018, we had people from the Cayman Islands. You know, that is why you see the personal attacks on me will get more intense. Because I know the history. And Rick will tell you that. I know the history. Your friend Rick. He will tell you the history. I know the history. I've been there. I know the history. So nobody can what use the common word, mama guy me. That's why they have to come at me, because I know the history. 2016, Kenny Anthony formed Stephen King, in 2015 in anticipation for the opening of the hospital. Remember that? Yeah. I want you to remember.
I remember.
Right, good. The elections came in 2016. We lost. Right? Stephen King and them were dismissed in 2017. 2017. 2018. You know, again, we pretend as if COVID was there from 2016. COVID was not in 2016. Members of the press, COVID was in full bloom in 2020. And you also must remember the Delta variant. That was in 2021, 22, when I was Prime Minister. When there was talk of people dying on Victoria Hospital corridors. Recall these things. Don't let this, and you know, the time is going to come when we're going to be recording all that history for this convenient loss of memory happening in this country. So, take something further. So, in 2020, when you're going to come in 2021, 2022, don't know what was my first act? One of my first acts was to make people more comfortable at the Victoria Hospital, at the COVID ward. One of my first acts with Minister Moses Jabatis, we put internet and got a telecommunication system going for these people there, because the man had hanged himself there. He had hanged himself because of the conditions that we inherited at that place. You understand? What happened? Thousands of dollars were spent to paint it. And the conditions, and there was no telecommunication. We were the ones who employed client officers, because people used to bring their produce and leave it there, and because of the health situation, what they call it when you isolate people? What do you call it? Quarantine. Because of the quarantine situation, they couldn't go up there. We are the ones who employed client officers so that they could get the necessary gab and go and give the people their supplies, their parents were over there. People were going crazy up there. A man hanged himself. So I'm telling you all that to tell you, all these convenient memory losses, we have to bring it back. So let's get back to the commission of the hospital. So in 2015, Kenny Anthony formed it. 2016, we lost the elections. 2017, they were fired. And OKU Hospital, even though it was physically ready, it was not commissioned until 2020 by the same St. Lucians. Some of them were fired. And the excuse was they had to get professionals. So you had Cayman City, were paid a couple of $1 million of contract. Part of it was to commission a new hospital. So when you get the hypocrisy, St. Jude must have people for it to be ready. That's hypocrisy. This is bordering on I don't want to use the word.
So are you saying that we St. Jude's? What would you like? What would you like to let the people your history be? What would you on St. Jude's? What would you want your history
My
to be?
history on St. Jude would be that under this government, we completed the physical infrastructure at St. Jude to have it ready for commissioning. That's what I want the later part, not me. You know, wait a minute, Jerry. The politics is not about me, you know. Too many people personalize the politics, I. It's not about me. It's about people. It's about the team that I serve on. Too much of the I. Too many rascals in the politics. I. Too many I men. I did this. I brought tourists. I did this. No. The politics is about a team effort, and I'm part of a team. I happen now to be the leader of that team, but I'm part of a team. So the effort is a joint effort that I happen to be the leader of. Yes.
Hi, can you provide details on the investment deal for the Cleary lands?
There is no investment deal for the That's another thing that I hear. Probably it's in another cabinet. I don't know about no investment deal. I don't know about that. You know, sometimes it fascinates me when I hear people talk about investment deals. It's about it. I mean, every day people get requests. Every day there are requests for people to invest in St. Lucia. Every day we have too many. We have too many housing requests. As I sit in my desk, I can show you 2 housing requests. I don't know if you want to call it deals. I can show you 2 requests for the desilting of the John Compton Dam. I can show you about 6 requests for new hotels in the country. So if you can go out and say there's a deal is when something is completed. So I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what may happen. Some people may have shown an interest in it. But so, they may be have shown interest. But I tell you something. You know, again, the same people who talk about debt, the same people who talk about overtaxation, the same people, when you want to get involved in a public-private partnership, they complain. There's not been any meaningful developmental model by the opposition for St. Lucia. Not one in that campaign. There's been no developmental model. Just criticism without any basis. Let's talk about fuel prices. Because people seem to believe that fuel prices is the hot potato. We cross-subsidize. There's a cross-subsidy. Every gallon of gas, every 20 pounds is subsidized, one by 13 and one by 12. There's a cross-subsidy. And I tell you something, we are going to be making an announcement very soon on the $1.50 that the other government put on gasoline. We're going to be telling you how we're using it. That will surprise you, because it never came before. You never heard before how that 150 was being used. We're going to tell you how it's going to use. We'll tell you that.
So the infrastructure minister, Stephenson King, had mentioned that the government was engaging with an investor from the Afrinxim Bank.
Engaging with an investor. That's the right way. You said
so
deal.
Are you saying that this process has not been finalized with the investor?
It has not been finalized. I can assure you that. And I also want to talk about infrastructure. At the World Bank meetings in New York next week, we'll be signing with OPEC. So the funding for the Rosy Highway has been completed now. So right now, with the consultants at work, so the funding will be completed. It's completed now. Money coming from OPEC and the QAT fund. So we've got a fund, $33 million funding for the so that's the people in Rosy should be very happy. But in the meantime, we are doing work on the Viesikwe Road to alleviate the traffic. So when work starts on the highway, the Viesikwe Road. So we got this. So next year, all things being equal, after Monday, we will get road done on the Viesikwe Bridge.
Are you suggesting that the election is next year on a Monday?
I'm suggesting election be on a Monday.
All right. So we obviously into the what is called the silly season.
I don't like to call it that, you know. I hate people call it that because it's not silly for me. It's a very serious time. It's a time when we decide whether we're going forward or whether we're going back. Very serious time. It's a time when you're going to decide whether we're going to get back into revenge, because elections have consequences. It's a time when you're going to decide whether we're going back to take revenge on people, whether you're going to make people pay, whether you're going to be good for people, or whether the country is going to progress. It's a country where we'll try to unify it. So I don't call it silly. It's a very, very important time for me. Very important time.
So in this very important time of campaigning.
Yes. Very important time of the year.
Of the year.
Yes.
No doubt we would have been seeing the campaigning and the rallies and the motorcades going on. I know that there may very well be one launching left insofar as the Labour Party is concerned.
Yes, next week at Shrewsbury, yes.
And then the possible national rally, and then it would be ready for the general elections.
You have that.
so-
You have a timetable. Yeah,
If you can speak to
I will ask you. I ask Jerry. I will have you paid your fees. Are you?
not a member of any party, could you speak to the momentum with regards the St. Lucia Labour Party and their launchings, and as well, if you could touch on the opposition, UWP, and their campaigning, and of course, if you wish, slip in which Monday we're talking about.
Okay. First of all, we have a plan, and the plan was, because you must understand that for years now, we've been bashed every Monday, every Tuesday, there's been a lot of propaganda, anti-government propaganda for a while, right? We've not responded because listen, we have a political machine too, you know, and when that machine gets rolling, it rolls. I mean, you must not underestimate us, you know. We've been lying down, taking our blows. We must not underestimate us. Please don't. Jerry can tell you. Don't underestimate our political machine. It's a machine that when it gets going, it goes. So for the past 2 years, we've been bashed, we've been attacked, we've been threatened, but we haven't responded because we've kept focus. We've kept focus on the country, on the development of the country. But we'll respond. Trust me, we'll respond. Our machine will get into gear. You understand? So when the thousands of people who attend our rallies, when that increases exponentially, you saw what happened in Cul-de-sac, in Odessa, then you saw it went into Viewfort, you saw what happened yesterday, and you saw what happened in Choiseul. What we're doing is that we are beginning putting the machine in gear, right? So you're going to see it growing. We do Choiseul next week, and after that, we have a document to produce, to show you. Achievements of the Labour Party. Honestly, when I saw the draft, I'm the Prime Minister. I don't say I was not aware. I was shocked at what this Labour Party has achieved in the last 4 years. I was shocked. In fact, we had to take off some pages from it because it's too much of a big document. We're going to be launching that document. And we're going to be a document of fact, not a document of innuendo. Not a document of what I think, not of what people see. Facts. Factual document. We're going to be launching that, and then we're going to be launching our manifesto. As to the timing of the manifesto, near the general election, I'm not sure. But I can assure you that our achievements document is going to be launched next month. Because we want to challenge anybody, challenge them, the achievements of this government from 20 2021 to now and compare it to any time, preferably the last 4 years, and do it pre-COVID and post-COVID. Because if you understand, all governments who call elections after COVID, they won, except St. Lucia. So COVID was and may have been an opportunity. Think about it. Just think, because what again surprises me is how we do things without any research. We don't even research what we see. We just say things without any research. There's so much evidence. Any government that called elections post-COVID won except St. Lucia. You ever heard of it?
No.
Right, think about it. Do Trinidad, Barbados, just do your homework. Except St. Lucia. Because the performance of the government was so dismal, COVID couldn't even save them. And instead of understanding and agreeing that the performance was dismal and the people rejected them, they pretend that the people didn't reject them. They pretend they weren't there. They weren't in government. They were not there. They weren't there at all. There was nothing. Between 2016 and 21, the country had a vacuum. There was no government. That's the pretense that happens in St. Lucia. But I tell you something. All the bashing, all the personal attacks, all the innuendo, the Labour Party will not descend into that depth. But I tell you something. Our election machinery is going to get into gear, and we're going to be rolling.
Okay. Still on election and election campaigning and stuff like that. You would have introduced, I think, 4 new candidates.
Yes.
Yeah, 4 new candidates. If you could speak to those choices, and of course to the UWP notion that those constituencies are in trouble, hence the reason for the
You mean Microsoft in trouble?
hence the reason for the inclusions, the new inclusions, and of course throwing, if you wish, a prediction in the final analysis.
I have learned in politics, although personally I've won all my encounters in politics except for once, at one point you never predict until the last vote is counted. I tell you something. When I look at the response to our new candidates, our response, I'm pleased. Let me say it again. When I look at the response to our new candidates, I am pleased. That's all I'll say for now. But it's a very exciting crop of new candidates. I mean, look at them. Look at. Let's do the measuring. Look at John Paul Estefan, the guy we ran yesterday. We launched yesterday. He was attacked by the UWP for wanting to run for them. I mean, look at this logic. If I went to a guy to run for me and he tell me no, I'll never call his name. Let me say again. If a guy wanted to run for me, and he'd gone so far as writing a letter and say he wants to run for me, and he voluntarily changed his mind, I'd never say that. I'd be ashamed. I would never say that. They're going to tell people that. And that man write me to run for me, and he changed his mind. I'd never do that, never. And, as I said yesterday, he comes with coattails. But as usual, the coattails will come later. And I want to tell you also, there are many more coattails that will join the Labour Party. You'll be surprised. You will be surprised to know when the election machinery, when the Monday is closer, you will be surprised to see what will happen in the politics. There'll be a transformation in the politics that you'll never believe. So right now, let everybody go and talk and attack and get. Anyway, when that comes, when that time comes. So the opposition will get more desperate, they'll get nastier, they'll make more claims, they'll use more AI, they'll tell more lies, because what is coming is almost like a tsunami. What is coming to poison of St. Lucia? John Paul Estima was just a start. That's just a trailer. That's a trailer. Because the people of St. Lucia understand that we can't go back. We're not going back. We're not going back. So, to answer your question, yes, there'll be a lot of surprises in the coming campaign, a lot of surprises. And what you're seeing is happening now, all the innuendo and the attacks and the desperation, the I man business, that will be transformed. The people will transform it.
Good morning, Prime Minister.
Oh, hi, Lisa. How are you?
Not bad at all. I hope you're well. We haven't seen each other for a while.
I see you all the time. I hear you all the time.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Not really my question, but I'm just going to follow up from the last statement that you made. You talked about the turncoats.
No, I didn't say so.
What? I'm sorry.
I never use the word turncoat.
I was a bit distracted by Jerry on the other end
Jerry
here.
always does that. He distracts. I never use the word
But you were
turncoats.
saying that many people would be leaving or
no,
joining
no,
the St. Lucia Labour Party.
No, I never said so. No.
I'm sorry.
You see,
Can you just repeat?
I'm misquoted so often these days, and I just want to be. I never said so. I said, if somebody had written me and said to me, I want to run elections for your party, put it on letter, that's an indelible document. It's not an email or a WhatsApp message. And they to me. And then I had heard them with that letter in my hand. I had heard that they've been launched for another party. I won't tell anybody that.
Oh.
That's what I said. I said, I won't tell anybody. I'll keep quiet. I won't tell anybody. I'll keep it quiet and say, boy, I'll take my losses and I'll go. That's what I said. I never talk about turncoat. What I also said is that what's coming in the politics is a tsunami, because many people will join the Labour Party. And I also said that Paul Estefan came with the coattails. That's what I said. I never used the word turncoat.
So I do apologize. See, Jerry there, always a distraction. You know that, right, Jerry?
I accept
Constantly
your apology. I
distracted.
know you mean good most of the time.
Yeah, all the time, just like you said. Earlier on, you were speaking about, I believe you asked about St. Jude, and you spoke about the commissioning team.
No?
St. Jude Hospital.
Uh-huh.
Yes. And a commissioning team, you said, will be put in
It
place.
has been set up already.
Yes, yeah. No. Did you say when the commissioning team will be put in place? Has it already?
It has been there.
It has been in
and
place.
But you came too late. You should have heard the history of commissioning.
Yes, I'm familiar with the history of the commissioning. But your team has been in place,
Yeah.
and it has. For how long has it been in place?
The commission team was in place since we started the reconstruction, yeah. Because we had to get, hospitals are not as simplistic as we seem to make people believe, Hospitals are a complicated business. So you have to have a series of things happening at the same time while construction is happening. So the idea that when you have a building that water still leaks, be ready in 6 months, is ludicrous. Ludicrous. It's not, that's just politicking, and I don't get involved in that.
So the commissioning team, you speak with them regularly. They've given you an
No. You see,
indication?
again, you're very late. I just made the point that we have a team. The idea that the Prime Minister must be involved in everything, the Prime Minister is only one who, that's not my style.
No, but there's certainly updates, just updates.
Yeah, they're doing well, very well.
Can you share how well they're doing?
Well, you
with
can
us?
speak to them. I don't know these details. All I can tell you, as I said earlier,
The head of the commissioning
all
team?
I can tell you earlier is that the St. Jude Hospital will be physically ready for occupation before the end of the year. I tell you that for a fact.
And can you let us know who the head of the commission is?
You find out with the Minister of Health, he can tell you.
Oh, the Minister of Health will let us know. Okay. Have the Saudis been back on island to
All the
view what
Saudis,
they funded?
They never left. They always there.
Okay, so they've toured the facility
Not
as
so
it's
they
near
work
completion?
here.
No, I'm speaking about the representatives
He
of...
works here. He doesn't tour. He works. He's here. At every block, he's here. He doesn't work here. He doesn't
Okay.
tour here. He works here.
So from the Saudi Development Fund,
Yes.
have we had
He
representatives from
works
the
here.
fund?
It's a joint venture. No, you know, it's a joint venture between a local company. He's the guy. The people who work here. They are here. They're not coming. They work here.
Okay. And complete satisfaction from the Development Fund?
You must talk to him.
Okay, and you will put us in contact with him?
No,
Give
that's
us-
not my job. You are the journalist.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We did hear that we had some containers that were out. Is any update on how far out they may still be in terms
Again,
of...
you've got to get the details from the people who contract in the hospital.
Very well, sir. Perhaps I'll move on to something that you may have a little bit more detail on. You did announce that the government will go on and pursue free tuition for early childhood.
Yes, I said.
Yes. And
No, I didn't say no. I didn't say free tuition. I said free early childhood education. I stretched it.
free early
More than
childhood
tuition.
education. Okay, so that can you give us an indication or explain to us
Very simple.
the difference?
Very simple. Very simple. You know, very simple. It's a fact that the Labour Party government, it's a fact, I don't know if you remember, that the Labour Party government was a government that initiated universal primary school education, universal secondary school education. These are facts of history. The Labour Party government will initiate free early childhood education. That does not mean there are not going to be any private early childhood centers. Doesn't mean that. Once they reach a standard, they'll have a standard. But we're saying that every child will be able to attend an early childhood center licensed by the government free of charge.
So you're saying that once they attend a government,
No, I'm not.
I'm just trying to understand. Can you perhaps break it down further?
We go in there before. Listen, you want to ask me trick questions?
No, sir.
No, but you almost asked me
Why
to
do you
ask me
always
trick
accuse
questions.
me of this?
Yeah.
I am just trying to understand what the
let me
policy
tell you.
position is.
I went through that again. If you were primary school, you was secondary school. Universal primary school education is here, but there's still Tapion. There's still Montessori. People still go there. We're saying that in a reasonable time, the next year, after the budget, every child will be able to attend a preschool free of charge. A licensed government preschool free of charge.
So currently we have the preschools that are not licensed.
No. Currently, we have government preschools and licensed private preschools. I'm saying when that happens, all schools will have to meet a particular standard. And once they meet a standard, the same way the primary school, the government, the children will be able to go there free of charge.
Okay, I was under the impression that the early childhood unit did oversee
They
the
do.
the early
They
childhood
do.
centers
But
and
right
ensure
now, they do.
standardization.
They do, but students still pay. We are saying it's going to be free. So government have to have a greater say in that everything is okay because government taxpayers are paying, not my money. You know, some people pretend as if it's their money. Taxpayers' money. We'll be setting it up. So it has to be properly monitored. So the standards must be global standards. That's what I mean.
But so this is not an institutionalization where perhaps you may find that the early childhood centers control will remain with the individuals because they are businesses. So I'm just trying to get a sense of exactly how it's going to work. Pardon me if I am belaboring the point.
But you want to find out how what's going to work?
Yes, but you're saying that they must be government licensed. But to my understanding, if I don't know if I'm correct on this, but to my understanding, the Early Childhood Development Unit ensures
Okay, here's
standardization.
let me explain to you. Next week, we're going to be giving every non-government preschool a grant of $3,000.
Yes, I'm aware.
Good. So all these people now, they are already operating. In the new environment, the children will go there free. Is that clear?
Okay.
Right.
Because they will be licensed by the
But
government.
they are licensed already.
Right. So, but you were saying that they'll be licensed by the government.
They are licensed. They are supervised by the unit. But the difference now, like they're going to be, the children are going to be going there free of charge in the existing schools because they are there. There is a big early childhood unit, but many children do not go because they can't afford it.
Okay, understood. So that's a little clearer for me.
Yes.
So in that regard, the early childhood centers all have varying prices. How is the government proposing? You are proposing to standardize what that price is going to be?
I'm not going to that minute detail as yet. At least you misquote me at some point. What I'm saying to you.
But then you would be recorded.
What I'm saying to you is that is the government's overriding policy that early childhood education is going to be free. As to the modality and the mechanics, it will work because we already have a model. We already are, for the first time, I don't know if you remember, government is actually giving private schools some money. Never happened before. For the first time. It was $2,500. Next week it's going to be $3,000. And we're going to be subsidizing every child $1.50. So what will happen is that is just going to be expanded to make it free for the children. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Prime Minister. But I still see that they're small businesses and they all have varying overheads and different administrative needs. So I'm just trying to understand how it's going to be harmonized across the board for the students, for the early learners to attend free. But perhaps as we get closer, I would be better able to understand. I just want to move on very quickly before I expire my time. At the home care workers, at the ceremony, you indicated that there are many people.
Oh, I thought you said never, never, never.
No. You indicated, yes, Madam Press Secretary? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to clarify something. We have the tuition subsidy. You said $1.50 was an error.
$150
Per child tuition.
per child, yeah.
Oh, thank you very much for that, Madam Press Secretary.
Thank you. Because Lisa might go and say, I say 150. Even though she does say it, other people say that. Pay line.
So we have it on the record, right?
Yes, on the record, yes, $150. $150.
It was $100 now. It's $150 now. It's going to be $150.
It used to be 50 and we're going up to 100? We're going up to 150?
$150.
$150 for clarification. Thank you so much.
So everybody's clear?
Thank you. Because according to Rand, we mean the city season. But I tell you, don't call the most important time in the year silly, eh? Don't call it. It's a very important season. Very important, not silly.
I'm young enough to realize that came before my time.
I know. Even before mine. By the way, yesterday was 1951, the Labour Party won its first election. 74 years ago, the Labour Party won its first election. So if I remember, I shall call it this Monday. That would be a good omen because the Labour Party, and then the last time they lost, after that they lost in 1974. So the Labour Party has a rich history, a rich history. I don't want to interrupt Lisa, but when you study the Labour Party's history in this country, adult suffrage, Contract of Services Act, banana industry, secondary school education, and look at the other Labour Party under Kenny Anthony and now the Labour Party under me. That history is something that is it makes ready, and the liberalization of telecommunications. major step. Remember how we were criticized in that time? Remember that? But again, as I said, we have short memories. Liberal rights. When I went to school, when my parents called me, pick up the phone, hello dad, hello mom, I used to call him Papa. How you doing? They said, okay, bye-bye, we have to go. Because the bill, right now you pick up, you go on WhatsApp, and you put your picture, and you talk for 2 hours. That's a major step, you know. And it started with Catholic George and the Labour Party. We were criticized as usual, vilified. That KMLS would close down and we'd lose jobs and things. You see, the history of this country, and if God spares my life, I want to write a book. I think people like Lisa help me, you know, to really document the history of this country in a truthful way. Because when you hear things, when you hear pronouncements, and you hear holy endowed speeches about, I came from heaven. These guys are sinners, and I'm pure. I don't even need confession. When you hear these things, it really, you know. And again, I could talk about Jerry's friend and my friend Rick. You know, Rick has a very good grasp, and you know, and you figure I'm a brave man to call Rick's name. Eh? I'm a brave man, very brave, because you never know what Rick might do this week, tomorrow, or what he might write. I'm a brave man, because both Rick and I, we know the history of St. Lucia. He knows more than me because he's a journalist. I have people talk about they were in the belly of the beast. I wonder what beast. Belly of the beast? What beast talk about? You know? So, I like this conversation because you're young journalists. We can talk. And you all need to talk more. Not you, Ran. But Ran, you're fine, you know. You must play you too old, you know. You're right. You don't need somebody history. But people like Miss Montoot and things, so she must listen to this. Because, you know, when you hear people talk, it always makes you be able to, where are the, like when I hear people criticize me, I'm like, but where are these people? Where are they living? What went on? Where are we? But it's just a matter of self-serving, deliberate memory loss. And when I'm going to write that book that I hope to write, and I hope people like, I mentioned Rick very much this morning. People like Rick would be wrong, so we can discuss it. You understand? I'm sorry people like Hunter Fonson have died, George Odlum has died, Peter Josie, when he was Peter Josie, still alive, is still around. I mean, Mikey Pilgrim is still around. Some of the journalists are still around, so I remain unnamed. I really like to talk with them because there's so much. I don't want to say. I don't want to use a very inelegant word. So much bastardization of the history of this country. So many false things being said. So many, you know, it's really. Anyhow, go ahead. Yes, Lisa, sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I was saying that at the Home Caregivers Programs ceremony, you indicated that there were many St. Lucians many people who are willing to pay for the services.
I didn't say many. I said there are many. I didn't say many. You're stressing too much on the many.
Okay,
I said
sir.
there are many people. I didn't say many.
Okay, many.
I didn't say never.
Okay, there are many.
Yes.
Who would be willing to pay the SSDF for the services of the home caregivers.
That's a fact.
Yeah, so you said you're looking into expanding the program.
I think they should look into it. I said they should look into it. Yeah.
They should look into expanding the program to make the accommodation for payment. So that brings me to ask, would that particular expansion towards now it no longer, well, free for those who can't, but those who can to pay, would that somehow be helping, in the subsidization to help now meet the bill to pay the home caregivers now that because I'm asking this because based on the fact that you have now expanded what the workforce is for.
No, we've not.
For
No,
the public service.
No, we've not. No. Again, the facts.
I'm always here for your guidance.
Yes. The home care workers worked on a contract that says every year they have to contract leave. Just like the temporary teachers were not paid during August, and now they are being paid. So what happened is that then there was no security of tenure. These people couldn't go to the credit union to get a loan, they get a bank to get a loan. So the government took the step of saying, we're going to make you full-time workers, so you work for the entire year and you get your leave according to statutory subject of course, working conditions, you must work. And so right now, what you've given them, nothing has changed, just like they have security of tenure.
So they're not forming part of the larger public service.
And no politician they work for a statutory board.
Okay.
Why are you trying these trick questions?
No, sir, as I
It's a
said,
trick
I'm here
question.
for your guidance and just
because
trying to understand the issues.
SSDF is a statutory board. So you just want me to say they're not part of permanent service. So not you will say it, but somebody else will say PLI. Not you.
No.
Because you're not there to say PLI. You're there to help other people to say PLI.
But remember, you said earlier that, as the younger journalists, So we always here for the guidance.
Because it's a statutory board. You say part of the government. No, it's a statutory board. SSDF is a statutory board with its own legislation. It's a Lucia Social Development Fund legislation. Not a permanent. It's a statutory board.
So why would there be the need now, if nothing is changing, to allow persons to pay?
I did not again, Lisa. You are grabbing straws. Do you know you can go to Inner Revenue Department and get somebody there to prepare your tax return for you?
Well, absolutely.
Right. The same way. Same situation. But people go to tax advisors. That's how I made my money. Before. Right now we're saying that the service is available for people who want to pay, but the government, they want to pay. So he said to us, listen to me, I want somebody to take, but I want somebody that's trained. Because all these people are trained. All these people are supervised. So he said, listen to me, I want to pay for that service. Could you send me somebody? I'll pay for it, that's all. But the status quo remains.
Yeah, but you would send someone regardless.
Send someone where? Send someone where?
The care workers would go out regardless because now they go to homes for free.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the service is free to the public.
Yeah.
I will not belabor the point. I'll just, pardon me again before my time expires very quickly. So you took up a lot of my time, actually.
No, go ahead.
I just...
We said you came late. You see, if you come a little earlier, you'll know. But we said an open mic, but you came late, you see.
Okay.
Why were you so late, Lisa? You're not normally late. Where were you?
No, well, at work, sir. Duties.
You at work? Okay.
Of course.
What you have in one of your interviews?
Like you, I juggle many things.
Okay.
I just want to...
Please let me friends. Tell them be friends. You know,
many people won't understand the banter. They don't understand the banter.
They don't understand be friends.
They don't understand the banter.
Many people, you're right, don't understand. Be friends for a long time. You're in the press for a long time, you know that. I know you when you're a young journalist, like my colleague said, and how you've come far.
Oh, yes, under your tutelage.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, we did hear about the medical district officers, those who are internal contracts.
Oh, we did that.
You've sorted the internal contract out already?
Yeah, man. Yeah, 14 of them. We're very happy. In fact, we have discussions with them on how we can do some kind of back pay for them. They're very happy.
Yeah, because they were complaining that they had not received the back pay.
They wouldn't complain. I don't say they were complaining. They were saying that. I don't think they were complaining. They were very happy to get put. They were contract, Now the permanent. That's was a good step. First step.
And so they will receive their back pay?
No, I didn't say so. I said we got discussions with them on the back pay.
Oh, but
In fact, they have to meet me. In fact, I must get my people to organize a meeting with them. I must apologize to them. I'm supposed to meet them a lot. I'm supposed to meet them before. I have not, but I will meet them.
They've been made permanent now?
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, 16 new appointments, new positions were created for medical. Are you saying that that absorbed the 14 or so who were saying that they had not received their back pay?
Let me go into the details. Let me not go into the details because I'm not sure of the details. All I know is that about 16 medical practitioners who were on contract were made full-time. I know that for now. The details you can get from the Ministry of Health, and I know they've been speaking about a back pay. Speaking about it, it wasn't a back pay that is, get it right? It's not a back pay that is legally due, because the contract of services did not entail a back pay. But it's a back pay that because of our regard for their service, we're going to discuss with them. That's what I promised them. It's not a back pay that is due. Get it right. But because we regard their service, and we think that they make a great, they make a serious, they help in the medical service in St. Lucia, we're going to be strong to them. But it's not something that is due, like how we paid the civil servants, how we paid.
Okay, understood. So that just leads me to ask now. I know we spoke about the polyclinic, Martin DJ Polyclinic
Yes.
in Grosley to be extended into a 24-hour polyclinic. In terms of the complement of staffing that we need within the medical fraternity, do we have enough staff, doctors, nurses to be able to support this?
First things first, we must construct it first. Work is going on now in the construction. You must have the physical plant first. That's happening now. I'm glad you reminded me. That's another government. Let me tell you something I have for you. I'm going to address the nation on the infrastructural work this government has done for the last 4 years. Even you will be surprised. The work in the health centers, the work in the schools, the work in the police stations, just government-sponsored public sector investment program. But anyhow, so the construction is happening now. I understand they've procured the equipment, and they're looking for the staffing complement. As to how they will deal with the staff, that's a job for the chief medical officer and the staff.
I just have a final question because I see the press secretary's antsy over there to wind up. Lots was said last evening by John Paul Estefan regarding housing, and he, made promises regarding affordable housing for the constituency of Babonneau.
He made promises.
Well, he indicated that he is going to work as quickly as possible and have discussions with the housing corporation and to bring about more affordable housing. I believe he did say that you had made a promise of looking at a $2 fee for lands at Alvon for constituents, but that's not really my question. My question has to do with the Rockwell housing project. And
You've been there recently?
No.
The land is cleared, Why are you going to tour my constituency with me? I have so many things to show you. Let me tell you what I've done. I want to tell you. I want to take you to my constituency because you just went in the way I've been keeping that. I've been keeping that in the bag. I don't know what to know, but since you tell me, I'll tell you. Renovated the Pavé Court. Renovating and putting changing rooms in the Enchipo Court. Complete makeover in the Bocage Court. Rebuilding the James Belgrave Court, the whole facility there, and putting changing rooms on there now. Work on a pan shed for the Diamond Seal Orchestra. Re-roofing of the Marshall grounds and work and changing rooms and work on the surface. Complete remake of the Mindo Phillip Park. You should never set me up. complete remake of the Mindo Philip Park. Work on the subsidiary on the field in Bocage for the children in the secondary school. Fencing and resurfacing of the head school court. Huh? Forgetting. That's 9. Okay? Some more? Well, no, but that's other things. I just talk about sporting facility. But anyway, sorry. I just wanted, since you set me up on sports, I just wanted to tell. I never tell nobody before, but just telling you. I want to keep that as our secret.
Oh, well, it
Yeah,
wasn't
that's
sports. I was asking about the Rockall housing
Okay,
project.
okay, so Rockall housing, the area has been cleared. It has been cleared, and construction of the first house will start before the end of the year.
Can you give us some details on the deal? How is it being funded?
You like the word deal.
Yeah, why
It's
not?
not being funded by who you think.
Who am I thinking?
You're thinking of BMAX or something. Not being
No.
funded. It's
Last
been-
you told me that contract
Yeah,
had been
it's
suspended.
it's not been funded by BMAX, which would not excite you. But it's been funded by the Citizens Investment Program, not BMAX, right? Not BMAX. So you will see the houses start going, but
So there's a developer, an investor attached to that?
no, there's no investor.
So we are using the Citizenship by Investment money from the National Economic Fund, is it?
No.
Can you enlighten us on how we're paying for this?
There is the CIP money goes to places. There's National Economic Fund that takes donations, and there's an excess cash fund that is used for these projects. That's what's going to happen there for now.
How much of that excess cash is going towards the project?
Well, I don't want you to misquote me. The quantity surveyors are in the process of giving the costing. You will know when the time comes.
Well, thank you, Madam Press Secretary, for that. So the details in terms of the contracted firms, the timeline for the project,
That's going to come.
and when is that supposed to come?
That's going to come because the land has been cleared. Let me tell you what people are excited about. The hundreds of people who want to get a house there. So you see what you're saying there? They want to get a house there. Hundreds of people want to get a house because there's an acute housing shortage in this country, and the government has decided that with the use of the CIP funds, not the firm that you made a lot of fuss about, it's going to be funded from a source to give housing to the people of St. Lucia.
I just have one final question on the
Yes.
follow-up, since you said, insisting on the firm that I'm excited about. Have we had, well, when I say we, I'm talking about St. Lucia, the government. Has the government had to respond to any request from authorities or the Special Prosecutor's Office in Montenegro regarding the business transactions of BMAX in St. Lucia, particularly it's the principal investor?
You may have to ask that to the CIP unit. I'm not aware of anything of that nature.
Thank you very much, sir.
But by the way, St. Lucia has just signed a unified approach to regulation. We've just signed it. So there's going to be unified legislation for all the countries, and St. Lucia is part of it.
And I assume that you were referring to the OECS CIP
Yes,
regulator
Yes.
legislation. Thank you very much.
yes. That's it.
Just one more question.
Jerry, we've had a long day. Jerry's laughing. What are you laughing at, Jerry? You hungry?
Kim, I have one final
Yes.
question. As CARICOM's lead head for sustainable development and climate change, on Friday you chaired the first meeting of the CARICOM Prime Ministerial Subcommittee on Climate Change and Climate Finance. Can you update us on how this meeting went?
Well, it was basically a pre-COP meeting. It was a meeting to decide the CARICOM's position at COP, which is going to happen in Belém later this year. So CARICOM wanted to have a unified position, and the meeting was to bring all relevant heads and the ministers to get a unified position so you can go there speaking in one voice. That's why it was a pre-COP meeting. That's what it was. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. Have a good week.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, Lisa.
Bye-bye, sir. Thank